Hey guys, I'm back and I'm going to be doing another level review. Today we are doing Hypnotic Tied by Snackless. This level got extremely popular during his series, and I know he did release it like a little bit ago. This showcase is from 3 months ago, and I know I am a little bit late, but I still did want to review it because it still isn't rated, and a lot of people were saying that it should be rated. So I'm going to see how this is. I'm going to give it a go. And in these kinds of videos, I do completely unedited, uncut footage. So you're not going to see any editing in this video. You're not going to see any cuts. It's just straight me reviewing the level and just talking about it, just completely expressing my thoughts. And I usually just do this so you guys can see my full thought process in these kinds of levels. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. All right, so already off the bat, I do like the intro. You float in kind of in from the side. I kind of like that. I like the background deco that's going on. I like how it's trying to make it atmospheric with the sea creatures, the whale, the clownfish. And I do like these structures here too. They just make it seem a bit more atmospheric. This does resemble Deep Dive a little bit. The medium demon, legendary, I'm pretty sure. One thing I could like a little bit more is that this block design is nice, but I feel like it could have a little bit more going on with it. And especially like this little piece of foreground deco right here, I feel like it sticks out a little bit. I couldn't actually tell it was foreground deco at the start. I think it's supposed to be like a rock. I think this could just resemble that a little bit more. And this star up here, I would assume this is supposed to be a starfish. I definitely think that this could be a bit more realistic and defined because it pops out a little bit too much for me. Okay, I like this tight little corridor vibe. I like how these spikes look. They look pretty nice. I do feel like this little overlaying part does stick out a little bit. I think it would be nice if they were a bit less, like, it kind of makes it look kind of soft. I think it would be nice if they were a bit more sharp, because as this is an extreme demon, I think that would be nice. And also, this block design does seem slightly copy-paste. I feel like if it had some more things like the starfish that was going on in the start of the level, or I don't know, like some ancient sea creatures or fossils or something, I feel like that would be nice to have in something like this, because it just doesn't seem very like vibrant and alive right now. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to put like bright colors and flashes or anything, but I do think it could just have a bit more going on with it. Okay, so this is a pretty famous part of the level. I do really like this part. I love how the background looks in it and the rocks and stuff, the foreground. But I really just do feel like there just needs to be a bit more happening here. Just like anything within the foreground gameplay areas or the background, I just feel like something more needs to be happening with this area because it just doesn't seem very polished right now. And also these little areas right here, I don't really know what to call them, but they just feel a little bit out of place. I feel like this level could just have each component integrated a little bit better into the next. Like these spikes don't seem very well integrated into the structures, but it's a pretty good part other than that. Yeah, also, and I think that part back there could have also benefited by some more foreground deco. Now, I'm not going to be thinking of a bunch of ideas on the spot, but maybe something like, I don't know, like an ancient ruin pillar or something like Atlantis, you know, like that ancient sea myth thing. I feel like some kind of style like that would have been a nice overlay to contrast with this. Of course, if that's not what he was going for making this level, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to take my advice, but I just feel like that would have been something nice that could have been added. Okay, so this wave part right here is already a huge step up from the last part. I really like all the flashes going on. They're syncing with the music very well. I like how there's more stuff going on with the air deco and just more parts that are integrated very well. But I still feel like even in the background and these foreground areas, there could just be more pulses, you know, maybe some cracks in the rocks that pulse these colors, or maybe even two contrasting colors, because as you can see, everything is pulsing the same colors, but I feel like maybe a foreground object that pulses a contrasting color could look really nice in an area like this. Okay, I do really like, I pause it here on purpose because I really like the part where it switches back to this beach area. But there is a few things okay, I'm really sorry that I'm taking like these huge breaths. Yeah, sorry about that. I just want to say that. So this beach area does look pretty nice. I love the glitch shader that they've decided to put on it. But I also just feel like, it just feels like it sticks out a little bit. Like if I keep playing, I think you guys will know what I mean. Like I just feel like the beach part doesn't necessarily stick out, but I feel like maybe this part, you see how it just cuts off into the background? I feel like that beach part seems more like an element of surprise. And I feel like if there was like fake gameplay built in this huge empty space here, it would, one, make the level look better, and two, it would give that beach part more of a like element of surprise. Like I would assume it's supposed to be a flashback because it keeps saying remember. So I think it would give it a much better element of surprise if it was like that. Okay, also, I love it flickered the little jellyfish, and that's the boss in the level. I love how it does that. I love the foreshadow there. That's amazing. Yeah, so in this part especially, I feel like there's just no air deco. Yeah, there's just no air deco in the part. And I know they took away the structuring for the sake of the gameplay, but I just feel like any kind of air deco or just a bit more background deco or foreground deco would just enhance the level a lot. And that just goes for the whole entire level because the level doesn't really include those components a lot. Okay, the drop, I love it. It's very, very climactic. The little slowdown from the cube falling down into that corridor is absolutely beautiful. I love how it launches into a dual section. You don't really see that a lot in levels. So I very much like that. And there is one problem I have with this part, and it's just that the components are not integrated into each other. These spikes here, they look quite nice, but they're just not integrated into the structures. They just feel like they were pasted there just for the sake of it. And these rocks here just feel like they were pasted on top of the black, like these gray backing blocks, just for the sake of it. And I feel like that's a big flaw, I could say, in this level, not to be rude, but I feel like that's a big flaw in this level that I feel like when Snackless was doing this series, he kind of just wanted to get the level out as soon as possible. And so it led to a lot of unpolished decoration areas. But in terms of gameplay for this whole level, it's amazing. But the decoration areas just seemed a little bit unpolished, that's all. Wow, I'm lagging a lot. Okay. Okay, I'm back to good. Okay, one thing I love about this part, sorry, I lagged a lot there. One thing I do really like about this part is that there are contrasting colors. And I know I mentioned that before. And I think contrasting colors just really, really enhance the level. I would love to see more of that in this level. And yeah, as I was saying, just better contrast. You see these little ground spikes right here. You see these in like the main levels, I'm pretty sure. They just seem like they were just thrown on top. It just doesn't seem very natural. Lagging again, so I'm really sorry. Okay, I quite like this wave section, but I feel like it's a bit of a step down from the last one because there's no pulses at all. And I really do like these little sea creatures in the background, but there's no pulses and there's really no decoration on the rocks or the background. So I don't really like that. I think this was a bit of a step down. I do really like the light in front of the wave though. That looks quite nice. Okay, now we are on to the boss, and sadly, I have a lot of problems with the boss. And the main one that I found was, again, it's unpolished in the foreground, but the background was very, very empty. It just seemed like the background was only the boss. And I know the boss is the main part, but I feel like this whole level in general could have benefited from just more background. Just put more background. I feel like it definitely could have benefited a lot from that. And especially this boss too. I know he scaled up some objects to make the tentacles, but it does look very pixelated in these areas. And I do think that really drops the quality of the boss fight. It just doesn't make it seem as good as it could have been. I do really like how it functions though, how the eyes flash the 3 colors and then you have to go in their respective corridors. Sorry, I'm lagging again. All right, the problem with the boss fight is just, it was very unpolished for me. As I said, I felt like he just wanted to get the level as quick as possible. And this whole area just felt very unpolished. I feel like there could have been more air deco, background deco, foreground. These areas could have been more nicely decorated, more pulses, more moving objects. I think it would have benefited from a lot of that. I do like the part where it slices the boss in half though. Kind of like the eye in I Spy with My Little Eye. Anyway, this ending part's pretty much the exact same as the beginning. There's just a few more extra things, you know, a bit of seaweed lying around in some areas. Yeah, just a little bit of seaweed here. Got these stars back. Again, could have been a bit more nicely decorated. I like this jellyfish a lot. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, background, I actually quite like the background here. I think the foreground just needed a bit more work. I like this part where it goes into the submarine and it launches up into this beautiful end screen. Hypnotic Tide has the icon, a wave. Honestly, this end screen looks beautiful. I love it. Absolutely no problems with this because I love end screens and a lot of levels don't even make them. And I love them. So as long as you have an end screen, I'm good with it. So yeah, that's very nice. Love that. So yeah, I mean, judging by this whole entire video, with absolutely no hate in mind, I don't think the Hypnotic Tide is rate worthy, just simply because it's very unpolished and there is a lot of aspects that could have made this level a lot better. And I feel that now 3 months later, I've seen a lot of Snackless's new videos, like his new level, Accretion, I'm pretty sure it's called, and he's making the Duality Gauntlet level, and those ones look a lot better than this. I feel like if he went back and revamped Hypnotic Tide, he could make this an easily epic-worthy level, but I just feel like this level didn't have a lot of effort put into it. Absolutely no hate toward you, Snackless. It's a great level. I just feel like it could have been a lot better. So my ending conclusion is that I do not find this level rate worthy. Anyway, so that's the end of my video. If you guys would like me to review any levels, you can drop them in the comments and hopefully I can get to them soon, and I'll see you.